Hi guys, welcome back. This is the 7th episode of our DevOps learning series. Today we'll be discussing about configuration management with Ansible. If you have missed any of our previous episodes, you can check out the link above. If you want to learn DevOps and get globally recognized certificates, you can check out our DevOps course. The link is given below in the description box. Let's start the video now. Alright, let's talk about configuration management in via Ansible. So when we say configuration management, so what does it mean and why is it very important for the DevOps to understand? So think like that there are a lot of machines, there are a lot of servers which are running, and we have the same set of servers, replicas at the multiple nodes, and how do you configure those nodes just to make sure that everything is on the same page, right? So let's say there are some changes that has to happen on one server, but that how do you reflect those changes to the another servers, right? Because if they are the replicas of each other, then there should be a way to manage them, automated way, that as a single site configurations if you do, then automatically that all servers which belongs to those configurations can automatically being updated or changed, right? So for that also we need something called configuration management tool. Because this is very important. Let's say we have a website and the website is being hosted on 3 machines, right? But individual machine has the same page index.html. If we have to make some changes, we cannot just manually go to each machine and then make the changes in the index.html. Rather than that, we should prefer to have a tool which can do the change for us in a single go, right? So for that we use configuration management tool. Ansible is one of those. There are other tools also available in the market depending on any companies what they are using. SaltStack is also there, Puppet, Chef, these are all old tools. But yeah, Ansible is like highly in the demand, and you should have idea about what Ansible does. It's very important to know. SaltStack also does the similar thing what Ansible does, but yeah, Ansible is kind of really powerful, and then it's very good in order to understand as a configuration tool, just to showcase in your portfolio that you are aware about what configurations you can manage through those tools, right? So if we have seen that the definition of Ansible is like, if you define it, so it's like a configuration tool, so you can manage all the configurations. Okay, now why do we need to use the configuration tool? So there are multiple use cases actually. If you want to eliminate manual errors, eliminate the manual errors, then you can use configuration tool. Because see, there are chances, let's say as a system admin or as a DevOps engineer, if I ask you that you have to update index.html on thousands of servers, the best way what you will prefer is to create a script. That script will make a change for you. But what if there are some problems with the syntax present in the script, right? So, and it can break down through that, right? So, and script also is like a very complicated. If there are multiple changes are there in those 10,000 machines, a script will not help you, because it will also consume memories and spaces to perform those things. But then how do you manage and how do you monitor that script performance, right? So that's why configuration tool is coming into the picture. So it eliminates the manual error whenever you need something to do manually. Rather than doing manual, you can prefer to use the configuration tool. So it eliminates the manual error for the users. All right, and second thing is definitely increase the speed and efficiency, because manually updating multiple servers rather than like setting up the configuration at one place and automatically let the configuration change things for multiple servers. So definitely it kind of increase the speeds for us. Then also it enables the infrastructure as a code. Though we'll be talking about Terraform in the next sessions, but it enables that infrastructure as a code concept for the users to play about. And then also you can have a version control, so it will let you have the same version of your services onto multiple platforms. Let's say you have a dev platform or testing platform or that environment, and to the production environment, so you can have that sync of the version as well. So it can help you manage those things as well. And then Ansible is basically a tool which is mainly dependent on their playbooks. So whenever we say Ansible, the playbook also comes into the picture. Playbook means it's written some sort of a configurations that is going to be applied on the servers. So it's as simple as the definition of the playbooks, right? And now if we talk about the key benefits of it, so this playbook does not require any agents to install. So it uses SSH, and with the help of SSH directly, it can go through the configurations to deploy on the multiple servers. Now, second thing is like it's very declarative. So when I say declarative, what does it mean? That you can define the desired state, and the Ansible makes sure that it ensures that state is maintained. That so it's very declarative in the form of playbooks. Also, it's very easy to use, and it's simple because it uses YAML file, and YAML is everywhere being used these days. Kubernetes also we discussed about YAML files. In Docker also we discussed about YAML files in Docker, compose files. So those are the YAML files are being mainly common in these days to play around with it. So yeah, Ansible also use the same YAML concept, so you don't have to remember or learn the new technology of considering this data in the form of files, right? So YAML would work for you. Now there are some key concepts if we talk about the Ansible. So one of the key concept is called inventory. Inventory is basically a place where all the things are present, all the managing host, managing nodes, where Ansible will perform the tasks for you guys. So inventory is that place. Then playbooks are the ones which will define the task. Okay. So in the playbooks, we define the task. Okay, what kind of a task is being written? What all action has to be happened on the servers? So those informations are basically being present in the playbooks. And inventory is like managed nodes from where we execute those tasks. Then we have something called role. Role is basically being used to modularized and reusable playbook. So let's say, for example, you have a playbook, but that playbook you want to reuse the playbook. Same playbook, if you keep on writing everywhere, it's kind of another manual effort. So rather than avoiding those scenarios, we use roles. We will be seeing that in this session, like how to use those roles. So it can remove the reusable work for you. So that's why it's being famous in terms of managing playbooks. Then we have something called modules. So modules are basically nothing but the predefined functions for the tasks. Whatever the task that we are going to perform, they have the modules predefined already present in the Ansible. All right, so let's jump onto the demo right away, and just to see and make our hands dirty in order to understand what Ansible can do in this effort. So I'll just show you that in my parallel desktop, I have two machines. One is Ansible server and another one is Ansible client. Okay. Now this is my Ansible server. So if I log in here, and this is my Ansible client. So in this scenario, we will be testing our things in two machines just to analyze that whatever the changes we will do from the inventory, it will automatically being reflected to the client. So this scenario has one client, but there in the real time scenarios, there are thousands of clients or hundreds of clients that machines are interconnected, and then it will work the same way it is working here for the two client machine, one client and one server machines. Right? All right. Now let's check the connectivity, because as I said that it's agentless, which means it does not require any particular agent to be installed on the client side. However, it uses the SSH server, which is mainly being used for the connectivity purpose, right? So let me just try to ping my client and just to see that does both have the connectivity in, so that we can use those SSH. So if I do ping to my client machine, okay, I am able to get the response back, which means that I have a connectivity so that I can play around with the playbooks now for the Ansibles. All right. In order to download the Ansible, I use apt-get install Ansible. Since I have already downloaded and installed it, you can just see. Otherwise, you have to download via apt-get. So as you can see that I already have this package called Ansible, and Ansible core will also be part of that Ansible. So if you have not downloaded Ansible, you can just download via apt-get, or for Windows and MacBook also there are tools that you can just Google it up, Ansible doc. You will find the how to download the Ansible tool for you. Okay. If I check the version, so currently I'm running on Ansible version code is 2.16.3. This is what it is highlighting here as well. Okay, and this is the Python version 3.12.3. It's latest only January 17. Then Jinja version, then library YAML true. It's setting up the configurations about the Ansible version that I'm using. Okay, now let's create an inventory file. So I'll show you how does an inventory file look like. So inventory file says that on what all servers or client machines that has interconnectivity you would want to perform your tasks on. That is what the inventory stores. So inventory is nothing but a storage place where it has the information about all the clients that you're going to pass on your tasks to, that you are going to execute your playbooks against. So in my inventory I only have two servers, two machines I would say. This is my server machine and this is my client machine. So this is the machine I am using, and just to make sure the connectivity is aligned, I am specifically providing the information that I am using Star Agile as a Ansible user, okay, for both the machines. And my SSH keys, because there is no agent needed, because it's agentless, that's why I'm using SSH. And in order to communicate to SSH, definitely we need to exchange the keys. So so the servers has their key exchange, they know what is this configurations. So it has a connectivity of the SSH private key file, and public keys are being able to access those. So that is there in the place. All right, now let's talk about playbooks. So we have a playbook called webserver.yaml. Okay, so let's review this playbook. How does this playbook look like? So this is basically for the simple web services actually. So it is configuring web services for me in the form of Nginx. I'm using Nginx. After installing the Nginx, I am starting the Nginx service. Also, I am changing the path. So this is my Nginx page where www.html index.html. This is my Nginx page, and this is the content that I am providing, that a welcome to Ansible deployed web servers. So this is the content, and this is the title, and this is the content body has it hello from Ansible. Okay, and it has a permissions and stuff. So it is basically doing this task for me. See, it's very simple. So I've written the task in the form of single file itself. I don't need to first install Nginx, then need to start the Nginx, then create a YAML index.html, then provide the content inside the HTML, and then make sure the permissions are also aligned, and then only access the servers, just to make sure this is like so tedious. If I do the same job onto thousands of machines, it's very much hectic, very slow, manual efforts and errors can be also be. So this is the way to eliminate the errors. This is the way to make the speed up your work. So with the help of just a single playbook, I can just deploy this Ansible with the help of inventory information, that it will be setting up these tasks or playing the tasks against these many servers, right, or the clients. All right. Now let's just if you want to run this playbook, so how, like first of all you can just execute this. So there is a command to execute it, Ansible -i. You have to provide the inventory, okay, against which you are playing this playbook. And then first of all I am just trying to make ping, so that I just want to make sure that what all clients have been connected to my Ansible. So currently I'm getting Pong as a reply of my ping, okay, from these two machines, this machine and this machine. So I'm getting successful. Let's say if there are one more machine, I will add, there is one more entry. You will see if there are thousands of machines, you will get thousands of entries listed through Ansible here. Okay, so this means that I have a proper connectivity. Now I'm good to go with the inventory playbook tasks. I can execute that without any hesitations. Okay, so now in order to execute that, So this is the command that you use for against this inventory. I want to execute this web servers.yaml and become password. Okay, it will ask become password. You can press enter here and then it will just execute. Seems like I got some error. Ansible -i inventory become pass match supplier hostname. Let me check. Web server.yaml. Okay. No arguments passed to command modules. Did you mean to run Ansible playbooks? Yep. So basically, I have to use Ansible -playbook. -i and then web server.yaml. Okay. Yeah. So the command is Ansible -playbook and then inventory and then my playbook, and after that it's not required though, but yeah, if it asks for the password, so you can just press enter. Now let's understand what this playbook is doing. First of all, it is configuring the web servers. That is the title of this playbook. First, it's gathering the information that on these machines I'm going to perform install the Nginx. After that, in starting the Nginx, then create a sample web page. If it was there before something, it is changing now, and after that also, you know, it's restarting the Nginx after applying the changes. So that is done. After that, I think you're good to access the web page, I believe. Yeah, so it says that hello from Ansible. This is the title of my page, and this page was deployed using an Ansible role. So if I access this, and if I access on 14 also, I am able to access that. Similarly, from my client machine also, let me access it. Okay, 12 also I'm able to see, and 14 also I'm able to see. So which means that, so this is using Ansible role, and this is using Ansible from the Ansible. Okay, so there is a role based also. I will be changing up here. We'll be seeing that, but we are able to see the hello from Ansible in this case. So which means that our Nginx is working as expected, is what we were thinking. All right, now this is done. So it's able to execute the playbook for us and was able to do this. Now let's do one more thing, is that let's use a role, because the roles are very important. It's good to provide the roles, because that can make things easier for us and avoid the repetitive tasks actually. So, and it can modularize your playbooks to maintain it in a good way. All right, so how do you see the roles to be created, and how do you do that? There is a command to create a role actually. We are using Ansible Galaxy. Okay, then initialize and then role name. So I have already created a role for me, but if you have not created, then this is the command you can use to create a role. So once you execute this command, this directory will automatically being created for you, and what all contents are present inside this directory, you will see these will automatically being created when you initialize the role based mechanisms in the Ansible playbooks. Okay, now let's review what all this basically contains actually. So let's review. Let's go to nginx.role_role. Then let's go to task. Okay, let's see what all task it is going to do. Okay, so with the help of role, we are installing Nginx. Okay, this time we are deploying a sample web page, and our index HTML is index.html.j2. okay, and this is the location of it, but the path is different. So if I check this location and sources of this, it will be different. So www HTML index.html. So now I have like three index1.html, index.html, and index nginx db and html already present. Okay, now After this main.yaml is defining what it is basically trying to do. And if we look at here in this templates, let me just go back a little. Inside templates and Nginx HTML2. So this is basically a little different entry. Welcome to Nginx deployed web servers. This page was deployed using Nginx Ansible role. So that can differentiate for you, because I was able to access the same, right? If I use this 14, I was getting this Ansible role, because this page is coming from the role, not from the Nginx. So that's why it is being showing the information here. Okay, nice. So after that template thing, if I review the handler, there are some configurations which are required actually in order to use the role base. So that's what I'm talking about here. So in the role, these are the files and directories which has interlink connections, whatever the changes that you would want to pursue, but it will be mostly the role based access. So that's what we are seeing up here, let's say handlers main.yaml. So this will basically just to make sure that Nginx gets restarted whenever any new changes are being applied to it. Okay, now let's update the playbook actually. So map server Nginx. So this is the playbook I'm using just for the Nginx. Okay, just Nginx role. For normal I use the web server.yaml, but for Nginx role based I use web server nginx.yaml. Okay, that is the difference. Now if I deploy this Ansible playbook -i inventory and then web server dot nginx web server -nginx.yaml. Okay, let it gather the facts on both the machines. It has changed the values of the Nginx entries for me, and if I say, so it's giving Nginx role, and here also I'm getting Ansible role. So now everything is coming with the help of role only. So because I was able to earlier, which was coming just by the Ansible, but now it's reflecting the configurations for you because we are using role based configurations. And here also if we see char where www.html index.html, so this is the HTML what has been updated automatically, and this is what we see. Okay, the Nginx deployed the sample web page, so this has changed. It was different previously. Let's review this again just to see the differences actually, so that we can catch up on this part. If I do this now, this time again in the Nginx index.html will change. Now if I see going up here, just remember that it is having Ansible role, okay, on my client machine. If I change, this time it is updated to just the Ansible, because my web server.yaml does not have that entry for Ansible by role. So if I access this on my local machine, I will be getting this page was deployed using Ansible. But on my server machine, it still belong to that Ansible role based. Okay, but for the client machine, it's not saying that it is using the Ansible role. Okay, so that is a difference actually. So let's again use the Ansible role to make our things work. Yep. So again, it will change the files which are important and necessary to have it work in a avoid the manual way. So yeah, so this is just to understand and give you some idea about role based Ansible thing. So this role is helping actually in order to you can reference the same role being used anywhere, and then the role has the configurations for you, and then you can just use the role, and based on that you can just update the settings. So if I also further check this, so if I let's say cat default YAML role handlers, I'm just showing up here that what all informations are present inside this. Restarted Nginx, metadata task. Yep. Task and test. This all configuration will be automatically being popped up when you set up the role. When you initialize the role, that time you will get the variables coming from the Nginx role for you. See the difference is here if you look at this, right? So it has using a role called Nginx-_ role, because this is the same role which we have created. Otherwise, the normal configuration does not have any references to use the role. So wherever this role will be used, it will be basically directly referencing that this role is being highlighted actually. So if you grab this Nginx -role, so these three files, out of this file having entry for this, rest two are just a comment for, but these are like defining the variables coming from which file for this role based setting. So yeah, so this is kind of an overview and detailing about what Nginx does in the form of Ansible. So it's kind of a configuration tool which can help you deploy any configurations. For example, here we deployed Nginx, but instead of Nginx, you can also have multiple applications, let's say some Flask applications or some modifications to the database applications, close integrity between each other, and then those settings also you can deploy it onto multiple servers with the help of creating the inventory. So inventory file is common in both the scenarios. Doesn't matter if you go with role or without role, but inventory has to be there, which has the detailing about what all servers you are playing your playbook against. And then playbook has the what all plays, basically the tasks that you are going to perform across your servers or the client machines. So those things, and then with the help of role, it makes it easy because you can reference that role anywhere, and then with the help of that role, you don't have to all the time manipulate the settings or the configurations. Rather than you can just have the role referencing at multiple places that can be also used as a role-based mechanisms to play your playbooks in the Ansible. So that's about the Ansible configuration management tool here. Alright, thanks for watching. If you have got any questions and concerns, you can drop in the Discord channel. The link is attached in the description below. Till then, keep learning, keep smiling, keep growing.